How's it, everyone? Welcome back to another Friday Flyday. Today we're going to do something along the lines of a bit of a saltwater tie, old piper with a rattle. So we've got a rattle hidden in there, and yeah, something for the saltwater people or anyone who's wanting to get into saltwater. Kingfish love these, so and well, kahawai too. So great fly to have in your salt box. Alright, let's get started. Start with a Gamatsu size 2 SL12S. Start with one of those puppies. We don't actually need to put it in the vise yet, but I'll just chuck it there for the minute. Next thing we need is the hairline plastic fly rattles. So we need one of them, and some large NZ strike indicator tubing. First things first is we want to put that over that. Let's give it a bit of a lick, and just push it on there, stretch it over the top. A twist if you need, and push it right up. And just make sure it's pretty straight, so you get a nice straight bit there. I'm going to take the hook and essentially we want it to sit off the back like so. So thread in from this end and just pierce it through. Now if you don't want to tie this without the rattle, you can. It's not a necessity. They're just good to have. Alright, so then we end up with that. Hook, rattle. Now we slap her in the vise. Make sure it's all pretty straight. And then to start with, just want some white thread, and just start at the head and just wrap that back. All the way back until we get to that bit of tubing. We just want to tie that tubing down tight at the head there, and just work our way back over it onto the shank of the hook. Now someone might have a better way to do it than this, but this seems to work for me. Just build that up. Cool. Now that's tight and it's not going anywhere. which is perfect. Now next step, bring your stuff forward, make sure everything's still straight. I like to get a little bit of super glue while we're working at the front end. Bit of super glue and just chuck it round where that join is from the rattle to your tubing, just to help stick those there. You can also chuck a bit up the front here. Cool. Just for a bit of extra protection. Right, then we're going to thread there at the back and grab a bit of green tinsel or similar. I'm just using a bit of this stuff. It's not going to focus, is it? Mylar Peacock. Just grab a strip of that, a few inches, trim that off, and then we just want to tie that in the side there. Then bring our thread back forward. Bring our thread back. And then we want to wrap this green side out, obviously. Just want to wrap it around the head. Not letting it go, and just tie that in at the back here. Cool. Trim off the excess. Mind the super glue. There we go, green's on there. Now bring your thread back and out of the way. We're going to get some orange or red thread and start right at the eye. Just do a little tiny hot spot at the front here. Cool. We'll finish that off. Sorted. Now we can bring this thread back in. Alright, so we've got all our heads sorted, rattles in place, that's all binded on, glued in. We good. Now we want to get some, there's so many different brands, SF fibres, EP fibres. I'm not actually sure which ones these are, or you can also use bucktail. But these SF fibres and stuff are good. I'm not sure what brand these ones are. These were given to me by a good friend Rob, who works at Hunting and Fishing in Cambridge. These were just some out of his collection. When I said I wanted to tie some saltwater flies, he said, "Oh, here's a bunch of stuff." So, thank you, Rob. Here we are, tying some stuff. Now we want like a grey, silvery sort of colour for the top of the fly, because obviously we're trying to imitate a piper, and you want it, so the length you've got there with the rattle, you probably want to at least double it a bit more in length of fly, so that's plenty for me. That off nice and square, and we're just going to run that on the top of the fly here. We don't want to tie it in at the front, we want to tie it in just behind the green. A loose wrap to start with, just to get everything in there, and then wrap her down hard. Just bind that in. Cool. Once that's there on top, then we want to spin the fly around. And then we're going to get same sort of fibre, SF or EP or whatever you're into. As we're going to get a white one. Once again, very Rob. Just a nice good chunk of that. When I say saltwater flies, you be pretty sparing with the material. So you don't have to use heaps. You just want the same length as your other one. Maybe a touch longer for the white. Include the tail. And then same again, but we're going to get it on this side. Which is a bit hard because you got your hook point and everything there, so mind your fingers. Just get a couple of wraps just to hold it in place. Then I like to grab it, spin the vise at myself, and split it in half. So you've got each side, and then bring them down the side there. Pull that back and tie that in nice and taut. Don't worry about how big the head gets. That's what you want. You want to build this head up while you're doing this, so you get a nice, decent sized head. And just mind that hook point and don't cut your thread. Cool. Then you can flip it back over. Now you should have two white strips underneath and a grey one on top. That should pretty well hide your rattle in there. Let's build that head up a bit more. Bring your fibres up and around the sides if they're lacking a bit there. Just wrap them in a bit. Won't hurt. Cool. Now, I'm not the super best saltwater fly tyer, so I'm sure some of you will be able to do better than this. I've only done a handful of these in my time. I do intend to do a lot more. Anyway, so now you've got that, your body, head, beak. Now, once you're happy with how the shape of your actual little head is, roughly, we can whip finish that off. So you could fully fish it as it is if you wanted to, but we're going to get a bit more extra on it yet. Could have done with a bigger whip finish tool for this one. it's going to matter too much in a minute. Cool. Couple of whippies. And trim that off. Cool, cool. Now, a bit of super glue or a bit of UV glue, and just tap that on each side of the head. Put heaps on, it's all good. And then we're going to get these holographic eyes, and these are quarter size yellow. I'm just going to take, just grab one of the tweezers, or whatever you want. Use your fingers if you want. And they are sticky, but not sticky enough that they're going to stay there. Chuck one on that side, like so. And then another one opposite, obviously. Hopefully your super glue is tacked off so you can just stick those on there. Get them to where they're nice and even and happy each side, like so. Cool. Now, this is where it starts getting messy. You're going to need your UV torch and some UV fly finish. If you want to do the red hot spot underneath, either some UV fly paint red, or hot orange or something, you know, some sort of red. Also have a red Sharpie, you can colour the white in on the bottom with the red Sharpie to even help a bit more. Should have done it before we put the eyes on, but yeah. It's got a little red under there. Now for the top we just use the clear. Nice big dollop on there and smooth it down into the nose, because we want to do the nose too. Just make sure that's all nice and even. And then get your torch and give it a quick zap. So that's got our head started to be built. Now I'm going to grab the fly paint red, and I'm going to give it a big dollop underneath here, if I've got any left. Feeling a bit empty. There we go. Good squirt of the red under there. And get that light on it quick as possible before it dribbles down too far. So now we have that going on. Nice red under. I'm going to grab the clear again. Give it another coat of that. Over the eyes as well. Down the side. Down onto the beak. Make it just sit real nice. You can do it in parts or just keep it moving. Now with the amount of UV paint and stuff we use on this, I would recommend chucking them out in the sun for a little bit, just to properly harden them when you're finished. But that will do the job for now. And there you pretty well have it. One piper fly with a rattle, a nice head. Pretty well good to go chuck that and fish. Main. Right, any questions or other flies you want a demonstration of on how to tie, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. And if you like this stuff, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Alright, cheers for watching. Another Friday fly day done. Catch you on the next one. Peace.